What is up, ladies and gentlemen? YouTube today, I'm going to be talking about Second Chance. That is right, Second Chance, one of the worst names for a TV show probably in recent time. But I'm going to be talking about the premiere episode, and if anybody actually cares for this season or series, then I'll be reviewing more. If not, then I'll just do this first episode. But here it is. The basic plot of this thing is about a disgraced police officer. He's like 75, whatever. He eventually kind of dies for some reason, and he eventually gets resurrected to get a second chance. What? By these billionaire twins that kind of have this secret program or whatever it may be. Now, that's the basic plot of this thing. Some good things, some bad things in this episode is that this show is completely messy. It's sloppy and it's just kind of all over the place. Some good things about this episode is pretty much that I enjoyed the lead, Rob Krasinski, whatever the name from Pacific Rim. I thought he was kind of good, but unfortunately, he doesn't really come across as an old man turned young. It kind of goes that way, but then it kind of just goes away very quickly. So yeah, he's kind of charismatic of sorts, but yeah, that's kind of that. The sci-fi premise, just in general, is kind of good, but unfortunately, the sci-fi aspects of the show is not really there too much because they kind of focus more on the negative parts of the show, which is the police procedural parts. Those parts are really not that interesting in general, and that's unfortunate because yeah, there are fun moments in the show, kind of like a Freaky Fridays type situation where it is the old guy turned young. You could take advantage of that funness, and they kind of do. But unfortunately, it's not enough of those moments in the show to actually really carry it through. And that's kind of the sad thing about it. It's not that fun. It's entertaining, and that's a positive, but it's also messy. Now let's get to the negatives, right? Some negatives is this thing is rushed. It is rushed, it's convoluted, and there are a lot of things happening so much that they don't really give you time to either. They don't give time to explain it pretty much, and that's a problem also. The guy that plays the old man, Philip Baker Hall, he's in there for like 2 minutes. It's like at least let us get to know kind of the guy a bit, but unfortunately we don't. The police procedure parts are cliche, and it's not that interesting as I said before. Also, not only that, but they kind of show it. But is he supposed to be superhuman? Because he's breaking through glass, and to me that doesn't really make any sense. And it's just kind of like, okay, so what's the extent of his problems? Also, the program, there's a lot of science babble being thrown around, and I feel like they don't really explain to people what it is. And then the twist that's kind of in there, it's just kind of like whatever it is. And also, when he turns young, is he supposed to be his younger self? Because if he is, then wouldn't the family actually know who he is? Because they never really explain how did he get his new body and what facial features he's using. Because they show him young, and his body as a young man in the show is not how he looked young. So therefore, it's just like, who is this guy technically supposed to be? And that's kind of where the sloppy stuff comes in. There's a lot of things in this show, right? It has a bad tone shift because it's trying to be fun, right? And take advantage of the fun aspects of old man kind of becoming young, right? But then it's trying to be dark and serious, and that doesn't really work well. There's fun moments, but the dark and serious doesn't really mesh well with the show. To me, it should have been like a Freaky Friday type situation where it's kind of fun. It has some serious moments, but it's not too serious. The show takes itself way too seriously, and that's one of the problems. And then it kind of figures out that one of the twins only brought the guy back to life pretty much because she had cancer and she's trying to save him. And it's just like, great. And then that's going to add a love interest to the 75-year-old man. And then a lot of things just kind of go on and on and on. Like I said, this thing felt like it was supposed to be a January movie, a shitty January movie, but instead it wound up being a shitty January TV show. The plot could have pretty much got wrapped up in literally this episode. They try to put so much into this one episode. It's like they're not even trying to think about the long run because pretty much this show is probably not going to last long. Let's be real here. It's not looking negative. It's just the truth, unfortunately. And it is messy, and there's some good aspects. There's some decent performances, but nobody really sticks out, sadly. And that's it. If you want to check it out, go ahead. You may get kick out of the sci-fi premise, but they don't really execute it very well. And any execution that was about to take place, they probably slip on a banana peel and then they missed the shot. Unfortunately, Second Chance probably might not get a second chance from me, but if you want to check it out, you may get a kick out of the entertaining sci-fi premise, and that's kind of it. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Comment, subscribe, like. But yeah, if people click on this and they like the review enough, I'll review the whole thing. If not, then whatever. Comment, subscribe, like once again. And what do I know though? I'm just a guy in a hat.